as well for Weibo back on that, or on the red side
Gwen?
rather, not back there. Gwen banned from blue side as well for IG.
Whoa. Okay, what do we want to first pick here? Invictus Gaming. As
Feel like they're cooking?
they gotta be. I mean, do they want to go for something? I'm trying to think of like the real priority picks that are still up on the table. Callista's had a pretty high presence. Could be an early Callista if they want it. I was gonna say Skarner as well. Potential, especially taking away that Lilia. Would have been a real ban here for IG. But even with Nico taken away, that kind of dissuades the Callista
The Rise
itself as okay.
It
It's going to be a
through.
Rise.
This was banned away before as well. It is going to be locked in. Flexible still as well, I will say.
Technically, yes. I know we always like to talk about Xiaohu, the ability to side lane. Rise definitely can help with that. But again, the other power pick we were teasing, Callista up for Light and Airhawk, could easily just be that Callista and very likely Renata to come in as well.
That was banned away as well if it's made it to the second phase. So Weibo say they want to put some more power into Light's hands, which I am all about. I think this guy had a really, really close first series, especially our first game of the series here. But this is going to provide them a lot of power.
Really interested to see if we get a Lucian Milio here. See if Gala's willing to play that. Of course, Draven, also a popular answer into the Callista that we see quite a bit here in the LPL. MF could also easily be slammed here. That's really the last of like the really big meta picks that's up as an answer into this Callista. But of course, with some of these AD picks, you don't need to pair them with a support. So opportunity for IG to grab some of those is okay. We're just going to have an Italy here. I will say Italy, an important pick to perform on if we're talking about BLG jungle tryouts. That's definitely a pick that BLG likes to play.
But still flexible.
Yeah, well, we could see if it's just set up with a Renekton here. We could have IG just showing full early game.
Yeah, we could see where they want to go with it. TheShy obviously has been very willing to go for.
Well, of course, it's not going to be.
For good old Nidalee.
You know what? We should have known, Mazel.
That's what I was saying.
Why do we think that this Nidalee was going over to Jiejie?
I didn't.
You didn't. I did. That's on me, chat. I
thought they were gonna go for the Poppy actually, but they actually just go for the Viego.
They're just getting what is now TheShy's most played top laner in LPL this split, which of course would be no pick other than the Nidalee. So
it is so wild to me, man, and it's the fact that he's making it work.
Bruiser items are good. I don't know what else to say, Mazel. And this team, they're gonna play to win the lane, which Rise has some picks that you can now take away. We're gonna enter the second band. This have plenty of answers though, so Weibo Gaming. Not feeling pressure to grab that answer there. Not even feeling pressure to grab an answer in the jungle. He's going to grab that power pick Ambessa in the top lane. As bans coming in. And you know what? You're showing Callista. You're showing Ambessa. I think a Poppy ban's just.
Yeah, you got to stop anything that's going to stop you from going in, TBH. As we get into the focus for IG, though, maybe look at some of these solo lane setups. Maybe look at some of the jungle setup here. What is good into Viego, things along those lines. It's the Aurora first.
I think you ban MF. I think it's an MF ban here if you're Weibo. And then a lot of the answers to Callista are gone. Because again, Kai'Sa, Ashe, Varus, all answers that are playable in the Callista, all that are gone because of Fearless. So you're really going to be pushed down in terms of ADs for Gala. I will say, if Gala wants to get old school with this, Tristana was not the worst matchup in the Callista. So that is a Gala special. You know, if we're going to like really tease maybe a hopeful appearance for Gala, I think that's the one champ that I point towards as a maybe.
True.
I
can see it.
Karma band. That is an Enchantress that can get pushed into Callista Renata. Again, into Renata, you don't really want to play Engage. You'd rather play Enchantresses. So Lucian Milio is still looking kind of tempting for me with IG. But I don't think Lucian Milio has enough support to be just. I think that you kind of need some CC in the bot side. Yeah.
Yeah? All right. Yeah. Well, we'll see that Ahri ban finally there as well. Still really interested at what this final pick is going to be. What we're saving counter pick, especially for Weibo.
I mean, I think you can grab... that's an option. Could just play Orianna for Xiaohu, of course. That ball, that zone control could be really nice for trying to keep Rise out of the fights. Caitlyn, I will say.
Let's go.
Okay, I'm kind of down for a Caitlyn here. I think that you still need some utility at support as Okay, could just be Xayah Rakan grabbed. Yeah, I think it's just Xayah Rakan. I don't love Xayah this game. I think that Xayah is too vulnerable to the range and spacing. So I would kind of prefer the Caitlyn. And okay, it's just going to be Caitlyn Lux as we are getting the truly pure solo queue comp here from IG.
You're getting so
regardless of what pick it is. It's going to be about
chaining exactly what they want to go for.
Chaining the stuns, chaining the roots into the chain of the traps and the spears, and we'll see what TheShy can get done. And of course, he does go with the bruiser / brawler in Italy. But man, IG trying to get priority with a very aggressive early game comp bod.
Oh man, I got a big question before we really dissect this analytically. Does Jiejie play his skin? Does he do it? Does he do it, man? I want to know. I hope he does. I'm very curious. I'm glad he pulls out the Viego, though. Definitely giving onus to him. But this matchup between him and Tian has been so tight-knit. It was Jiejie having the better of it in game number 1. Tian having the better of it in game number 2. Now Nocturne versus Viego. A lot of carry pants on these guys here, it feels like.
I mean, the trigger pull of the ball carrier being that Nocturne, the ability to execute onto a Caitlyn, reach that backline. Again, I think that IG, I mean, a lot of onus has to be on them getting ahead in the lane phase. If so, I mean, they have a lot of pushing lanes. You have a Rise. You have a Viego. If you get those early resets, it can be a snowball game here for IG. But if you're able to hold strong as this core of Weibo, you got to imagine that you can be okay. I think my one concern, if anything, is the ability to deal with Kalista is decent this game for IG. I think it really is going to be important that the other tools from Weibo connect to open up the Kalista. But man, this is a really early game focused comp for IG where they have to get going or else this game could get ugly. I know that Nidalee in jungle doesn't scale all that well. I will argue that top Nidalee actually scales decently well. So I wouldn't count that pick out as time goes on, except if the fights go too long, you got to give the elongated fight to an Orianna, a Kalista, Renata if Viego's not able to get resets and start deathballing throughout these fights. So I think it's going to be a tough ask here for IG.
Always a potential with those resets coming through, but a tough ask nonetheless. Weibo definitely, they were looking a lot better in game number 2, and we'll see if game number 3 is going to pan out their way. I do believe he's using the skin. So EDG, Viego coming through. Viego, not only a pivotal mark for them on that World Championship run, but one that gives a lot of power to Jiejie. And if this is going to be the hypothetical BLG jungle swap up coming through here, it could be a lot of excitement as both of them have a lot of weight on their shoulders. We get into game 3 of our second series of the night. It is Invictus Gaming versus Weibo Gaming.
That it is. Excited to see who can find the advantage here. As, I'm going to shift to focus on the game, but still look at the camera.
Hopefully we get the cameras off screen here.
Still showing off here to you guys. I'm sure that the Xiaohus were resounding here in the arena as we have a fun game 3 between IG and Weibo. As again, IG, importance that they get ahead early. The mysterious AI graph thinks so as well, as that Weibo comp going to be favored later on.
Mysterious AI graph.
Yeah, extended fights, good for Weibo if they're able to find them in this game. Is the shotgun of the Nocturne Orianna will be nice, but they are going to need that extended fight to win it. He's going to face check Tian.
Okay, we're in a little bit of trouble.
Nice chunk early.
All right, well, that's going to be a little bit of a health trade as lane crashes here. So Rookie going to go ahead and pop his potion. Anything you're seeing as we get the phase rush duo in mid lane?
No, not really. No surprises here in terms of the runes being taken. Do like the blue tree on my 80s. See what the Caitlyn can get done. This bot lane, the Elise Caitlyn lane. Talk about lane dominance, or at least trying for lane dominance here, Mazel. As this is going to be a bot lane that needs to get ahead early, or could get ugly later on. Again, some ways to play off the trap. Meiko started E, and we weren't able to connect. That's a bummer. I would think it would be Spiderwing start with a W. That's a little bit more traditional, but no. Meiko was going fishing. And Gala couldn't connect.
And I feel like the observers are going to have a lot of things to look at this game because The thing about the Italy is you always constantly have to be pressuring, constantly have to be active. And we are going to be looking at some early action here. Potentially Jiejie finding an angle. The Xiaohu, he does have the flash play coming through. Rookie not able to follow through. Thought he might flash for the Realm Prism, but he's only level 2.
No,
and
yeah,
Xiaohu able to get away.
Use that W to slow up Xiaohu, so wouldn't be able to follow and find the guaranteed. And frankly, I think that visit from Jiejie, of course, the flash for flash trade, he's trading up as Orianna is punishable with flash down, being that immobile mid, but also to relieve some pressure onto Rookie, who of course did lose out on that level 1, making for some unique lane conditions. And he didn't start D-Ring, he started Mana Crystal, so he has to find a base here or else he will get jailed.
Ooh, Erha getting murdered here by the combos. Bailout coming through. The 2v2 goes the way of IG, falling prey to the spider and the sniper.
Couple good mechanics there from IG. Of course, the chain on the cocoon into the trap hit, but also the ignite coming down before the heal in order to dissuade some of the bonuses there. And the solo queue bot lane connects with the first kill here, Mazel, which is exactly what the Doctor ordered for IG. Again, important that they can get ahead in these lanes. Their fight is much harder to execute with a lot less tools to play with, and a Luis support that, well, frankly, gets outskilled. Is useful early because it can do damage, and is pretty useless later on because it can only really stun. So that damage falls off.
Meiko showing the young whippersnapper how it's done. See if that's actually going to be the case here, as it's a 2v2 bubbling up in mid lane.
It's going to be a trade of Raptors here. Yeah, is the posturing going to get a little bit of vertical jungle coming in. Now it's a little bit of a gambit. Do you want to go for the Krugs or not? I don't think Tian can go for the Krugs because his bot lane is losing. Meanwhile, Nidalee has that Investa trapped under the turret, so enemy Krugs an option here for Jiejie. Enemy mid, the look here for Weibo.
They're actually getting a little bit of movement from Erha as well. Jiejie going to continuously going for the invade.
Yeah, he got it because it was a base that came in from the Caitlyn Elise, who are now walking mid, so IG going to try and play around with some shifts here.
Shifts ahead of the Grubs.
Okay.
The Dragon hasn't really taken prio in this one, and
that's what we call the inverted super clear, Mazel.
I know that's been one of your favorite things to talk about here.
I mean, it's true, right? When you take the respawn camps, you set up for yourself, starting the AOEs. That's how you max out on your big openings. So there's a lot of carry junglers being part of the meta right now. A lot of players trying to do just that. It was done successfully there. I like the short junglers going, trading some camps. Not bad.
But now it's grubby tubby time in 40 seconds. What do you expect out of this top lane for TheShy? Oh, I expect he might die.
No, Tian walked over a ward. He needs to find a base and a reset here. But he should be very strong, actually, for one of these fights. As long as Ambessa doesn't connect with an R, he's up. And TheShy, to be fair, has 6 first. And 6 very important on the Nidalee is, of course, you get to level up your Cougar form, which levels up your base stats in that form. Very important.
I just feel like you're like ADHD crazy on the Nidalee top. Like you just always have to be doing something. You always have to be jumping forward. You have to be getting these spears. You have to be doing.
It's true. We like the champions that use buttons.
7 of them.
Anyway.
Next spawn is up, or at least first spawn is up. Jiejie going to use that prio in topside and in mid to go ahead and start this up. Tian saying it's okay to let this one go. The next one might be a little bit more their way, as they will have the ultimate combos.
They don't win this fight. They need 6 on the Nocturne and 6 for the Callista Renata to really threaten their best fight. So I think giving this one up and over is fine. We'll say, revisiting the top lane, TheShy under threat. Oh! Yeah, 8 the tower shot, public execution sidestep, no flash necessary for TheShy. Good hands by our all hands top laner. And nearly has 3 plates off that top lane turret as he has already secured 2. So this Nidalee pick, of course, Ambessa is a power pick in the meta, but doesn't seem to be the best answer to the Nidalee. The laning from TheShy has gotten himself a pretty nice lead here on the top side.
And it is just crazy how much he's actually won with this pick. After this, he's the most picked champion for him so far this split.
Look, that's crazy. I gotta say, I'm not super surprised that he's won with it, because I do think that the bruiser items are really strong. And Nidalee, like, you can abuse Spirit Shogun with your Cougar form. Like, that's really nice, actually. That's a really positive interaction. Not to mention, I mean, Trinity Force, Nilly does have some really positive interactions there as well. So I don't think like it's actually as full as some people are making it out to be. I do think TheShy is somewhat on something. Of course, he is able to execute it a lot better than other players, given how gifted he is mechanically. So that does help. But I'm kind of in on the theory, I will be honest. I think he's cooking something good here.
I like it. I like it. Comes back into the league after taking some time off. And is right back to his TheShy ways. In the good way. At least as of now. We're taking a look at the map states, though. We're about 8 minutes in, and Heal actually going to be burned to get some distance by Weibo's bot lane, who are in topside, going to get the flash out of Meiko as well on this Elise. And we're starting to see some of the combinations from Weibo be played towards more now that they have the level 6 mark for Tian.
I think a respectful and appropriate flash from Meiko, as of course if he goes up in the air, Tian would just connect with him when he drops. He was spotted on that whip.
Yeah, and okay, there's going to be Chunk, but Meiko's in trouble now. Going to get feared, going to get hand shook, but Tian is still out of there. Rookie going to flash for the play. Paranoia pop, but the bailout's enough. Peeks out of there. Tian gets the reset up the bailout, and Jiejie gets the butt dies anyways. Light rends his soul from him and takes his crown. Xiaohu shits him down too. Meiko not able to have anything, and Weibo, they're going to find a massive 3-to-1 kill difference early.
That was a disaster for IG, as I thought they were able to connect with Tian on the kill, but the bailout from Erha, it ended up being more than enough to save that Nocturne. And oh man, that fight and the back half looked grim from IG. As just keep your eyes on Tian. He ends up being the focus. He's the one that gets the bailout, as the flash in from Jiejie and Rookie. Yes, they're able to get around the front line, but Rookie was brought so low because Xiaohu was tailing him on the roam, was able to connect with the a big combo, not the shockwave, but a big combo from Xiaohu, got Rookie down, and Weibo run the fight just because the reset didn't come in on Diego, and all the tools were burned to try and get that reset on the Jiejie.
Impressive start here from Weibo. It is still a dead even game just because of some of those CS difference that had been developed in bot lane, but much more even state here as IG going to try to get back onto the map, get something going for themselves as a play from Breed. Public execution onto the combo with the shockwave. Ball delivery takes many forms, and Weibo, they're flowing with it as Breed just going to walk down Gala too, and Meiko going to just get ran down for 2 times in a row. Okay, it's not going to be enough with the command attack. Xiaohu was trying to chase down Meiko again, but Weibo now propelling this advantage over the last couple of moments to more kills for themselves.
I love that walk from Xiaohu. Again, realizing Gala burned flash in the last fight. Breed had that public execution up, as of course it missed in lane against TheShy. So yeah, just use that as another way to get that ball in the back line, and Xiaohu's shockwave rings true against the bot lane of IG. As Weibo, again, it's the second game in a row we're grouped up. Weibo's comp's just straight up better, right? It's a little bit easier to execute, makes more sense. IG, in order to make their comp work, they need to take the leads that they find in the early game and need to be able to push them into the rest of the game to help them win this game. Mazel, but at the moment, we're seeing these early groupings for Weibo just not really be respected by IG. And that first play they attempted on the Tian was really tough. I mean, they ended up falling pretty far behind from that, and the death there from Gala was part of that first play being so sour too for IG, of course, with him missing flash. So IG gonna have to clean things up here if they want to find the win. And I will say, Grubs will be a really big tool for them. The fact they have 4 can be used by TheShy on the Nidalee and can be used by Rookie on the Rise. We expect both these solo laners to be side lane dominant as this game goes on. So important that IG has been able to pick up some of these Grubs.
Give big props to Erha, though. Again, he's been a big story we want to keep an eye on for Weibo, and has had some interesting moments for sure, but has had some good ones, especially in game number 2, even in game number 1 for Weibo. But man, that bailout timing and utilization there was actually so massive. We'll see on the back end of it, though. It will be Grub again, secured by IG, and like you say, plays really well into the hands of IG's composition. That dragon secured by Weibo, though, on the other side of things here, will put them up to 2.
Yeah, I do like the overload here by IG. Of course, they're the ones with 6 grubs, so just going to funnel this first brick into Gala. Rookie doesn't have a TP to respond to what's going on in the bot lane, but TheShy has been there to answer what Xiaohu's doing. So IG gonna play 2 lanes for a brief time in order to ensure that they pick up that first turret, which they have netted. So well played to IG.
He's a, yeah, and maybe. Oh, no, he's just being a good person, putting out the ward, you know, getting the trap down router, get some vision over there.
Yeah.
But as we get into these first items, I mean, we had the experimental hex plate completed by Tian forever ago, it feels like. But those Trinity forces starting to come online. Rookie going to take a while with the Roa, obviously. Yep. The Yuntals for Gala. How are we feeling about the state of things on these first item spikes?
I mean, I think that items are kind of what they are in this game, Mazel. I just think that because we have 2 such like different style compositions, if Weibo's grouped up as 5 and can execute the team fight, it's better for Weibo. If IG is finding these skirmishes, using their grub advantage to play side lanes and try and get turrets down, it's better for IG. IG doesn't want to fight right now. They want to continue to try and pressure these turrets, use the grub again, and they've been able to secure, again, exactly what their comp needed to try and make things connect. That, a very active support, and Meiko's Elise, who again, will be falling off in this game as this game goes forward.
Just a wee bit, you know?
I'm kind of curious if we end up actually getting a support item out of Elise, as it was a Kindle Gem Rush. So I will keep my eyes on that, because I think the most common first item on support Elise has been Rocket Belt to try and snowball, but Kindle Gem could lead to a few different things.
Rookie, luckily he's using the Pirate Rise skin, because he's definitely off on a pirate adventure, trying to plunder as much gold in the side lane as he can get. And you see that player gold graph there on either side. Light definitely having a bit of advantage after getting those kills, but everything pretty tight-knit after that. And still about a 1.2k lead for IG as they take another turret in the side lane. TheShy actually looking to go into a fight here. On to breathe because he had the backup from Meiko.
He's got that and a fat heal. As again,
Primal Surge.
Don't sleep on this Nidalee. I know traditionally Nidalee is not a scaling pick. But I actually think that with how strong some of the fighter items are, again, I think TheShy's onto something. And he does have level 11, so has a slight lead into Breathe and should be able to, again, push that Ambessa or the Orianna around as long as he is in the side lane and finding those, 1v1s, 1v2s. Whereas, of course, in the team fight, Italy doesn't bring tools for that outside of damage. There's not a whole lot of setup for IG. So that's where we're a little bit concerned for the IG comp. Again, this is a comp that needs to have a lead in order to function. And it's curious for me if they get a big enough lead to actually feel comfortable fighting this third dragon. Because I think that's where we're going to start to see the breaking points of this game. Of course, no objectives on the map at the moment. Just going to be a Herald that is spawning in 40 and a Dragon that's spawning at $145. But real question for me, is IG feel comfortable enough to team fight Weibo around that objective, or can they use the Rise, use the Nidalee and the strength they have to bully Weibo around that objective to get it for themselves?
I just think it's so difficult into a Nocturne comp when you don't have a true tank. And it just feels so hard because Meiko is the one that needs to really face check these. He has Spiderlings, you have some long shots, but if he overextends, he will be pounced on and taken down. The repel is not going to buy you enough time. Feels like Weibo know this. Playing around it heavily. Jiejie going to come over, trying to get a little bit of extra support on these ward clears up towards this top side. Rift Herald does spawn now, but Weibo, they're sitting in wait. They know what they have. They know the weaponry. What did I just talk about? Meiko extending a little bit too far out. Goes with the repel. Has the flash. Shockwave coming in. Light gonna go for it. Xiaohu's the one. Command attack. The Emperor's will is there. And Rift Herald go the way of Weibo.
I do think Meiko could have played that one better. He can stand the repel longer and then come down on the wave that was actually, walking towards IG and towards that turret. Didn't jump to the caddy minion. Instead, came straight down, burned the flash, still went down to Xiaohu. As Weibo burns no flash, is picking up that kill and is going to use the 5v4. And IG not wanting to team fight Weibo with, of course, Paranoia, Fate's Call still being up. They're just going to try and take stuff on the other side of the map, but another neutral objective goes over to Weibo.
It's so crazy. This all is happening. It keeps being these little fights from Weibo, but if you look at the goal, if you look at the numbers, things are still leading the way of IG just because of these solo lane setups as well, and especially for TheShy. If you look at it, IG will stop the
big.
dragon stacking of Weibo.
I will say, if they get this, it's big. I know that Weibo is going to do their best to get in here. We'll see if they can find a fight.
Tian, the spike fight! Oh, he's not even going to go for it. Okay, the flash play coming in. Public execution goes through on a Rookie. Rookie's going down. Xiaohu finds his number. Flash going to come through now, but Paranoia going to make the retreat come through from IG. It is the dragon stacking stopped. But a big pick by Weibo.
I mean, how sick is Erha, man? The flash handshake on the Rookie was beautiful. As he flashed out,
he's a rookie, bro.
Going down. Again, his 4th series going up against one of the LPL GOATs in Meiko. And actually making good plays in the series. Erha continues to be a bright spot for Weibo. And again, that 3-4 record we don't feel like is really as indicative of the strength of Weibo with Erha. We have looked more competitive with him being in the lineup for sure, Mazel, and continues to make good plays.
This composition might have cooked a little too far for IG. Feels bad as well as it Jiejie's skin on the Viego. They will try to pick out Breathe, though, and they should be able to do so. It's just going to take a little bit of time, a little bit of heartbreaker action. So they will play to their strengths, play towards this side lane, and Rookie is going to push that one in.
Again, like that is the play for IG moving forward. The team fights, no bueno. The side lane plays, very bueno. As he draws in here, folks. Fine's still on the Rookie, and the conviction, man, for a support to do this, and for him and Breathe to work together to land that public execution again. If he handshakes the wrong way, it could be grim. Looks like it was a good comms, good teamwork there from both Breathe and Erha to make sure that handshake connected into the public execution, which took down the Rookie. As Weibo at least pick up a kill in the back half of the fight. Still big that IG denies the dragon stacking. That will buy them some time again. Important that IG is able to stretch the map in this game because, again, those are the fights that IG could win. We really like them in these skirmishes. They do not have the team fight AoE tools to win. Like, think of the circles in this game, guys. It's Renata's hostile takeover. It's the shockwave. It's Ambessa's Beyblades that are just her kit, right? Whereas IG, it's pretty much all single target damage. So like, really think of the game in kind of that lens and just why it's better for IG to be side laning and finding these skirmishes at home, guys. We're going to see a game with two different, like, very different styles clashing. With Weibo's comp, definitely a lot easier to execute around these objective fights and when grouped up. But do have to be careful in these side lane scenarios because IG still have a lot of strength here.
Got 4 control wards by Weibo around this bot side. I realize that next dragon has to be even more important for them. They're trying to get Xiaohu to take down that side lane turret. Rookie was thinking about threatening a realm warp to potentially go in mid lane, but now he has to go answer on Xiaohu.
Yeah,
some deep vision also secured by that 4th moved up control ward.
I like Mikhail's pickup here for Erha. Can get you out of like any cocoon, rune prison, and the trap combos if necessary. It takes away, I think, the best way that IG can try and play out these fights, which is really looking for picks and burst damage on a single target. Again, close game. This leads not enough for IG if they want to play these fights. And Rookie, he's no flash still. Goodbye.
Instantly popped on the Paranoia, the shockwave to follow, and Rookie will fall after having such dominant games, such good and clean series. He's going down, down, down in this game number 3.
And that's the other. I haven't even gotten into this. Like, of course, the sides are where IG have to win, but you're trying to play sides against a Nocturne. And really well played by Xiaohu. Nocturne able to play sides so well, trying to answer that. As again, just really feel like this draft for IG, we called it solo queue inspired. But they just have to win all 3 lanes and win the game. They've not done that. Weibo's done a nice job of answering. And again, this even gold status, like that's not where this game should be at this point. It should be IG being ahead if their comp wants to win. You can even see it with this gold craft. Weibo being favored by a bit more than where the game state would usually have Weibo favored, just given how close the gold is and the 6 scrubs over to IG. That really does speak to the scaling and the ease of execution for me. That's where that's not going to show in that type of stuff. The ease of execution so much easier for Weibo to play out these fights in this comp.
And Tian might be the sword, but Xiaohu, he's regained a little bit of that general status here. I know game 2 was a little bit more quiet from him, but he still had some decent performances there as well in a response to Rookie's pop-offs. But this game really has been about those shockwaves, setting up early advantages around Tian's plays. And this is a Xiaohu that hasn't shown up, right? The guy has been a little bit non-existent. And finally, nice to see the Tiger King of Spring bare his fangs yet again.
Dragon spawning, Weibo, they're set up, they're grouped up. IG dropping the bot lane to try and contest. And they got top wave all the way in. This will be a trade of waves dropped, but Weibo, getting much easier for them to play the fights out.
TheShy's finally getting involved.
All the ults are up for Weibo. Just keep your eyes on Tian when he wants to pull that trigger with that Paranoia Shockwave combo.
Rookie has been focused multiple times in these. Paranoia going in. Shockwave goes through. Jiejie getting out with that Heartbreaker. Public execution finds the back line. Meiko can't do anything to save his ADC, and he's going down. TheShy, he's the last one left. Look at this body pile and a body slam by Weibo. Triple kill for the Emperor of Spring, and Weibo have pounced the trap. Now a 2,000 gold lead and absolute game control in Game 3.
And bound to move to 3-1 with Erha, who hit a beautiful Fate's Called, I should say, into hostile takeover combo to end any and all hopes of a teamfight win for IG, who had very little hope of winning. With the confidence setup we have here again, IG just not far ahead enough. And how does this fight start? Jiejie has to burn the flash and the combo out as Gala flashes, still catches the club execution. And look at Erha, hostile takeover flash into 3. Splits the fight, locks up IG, and Weibo Gaming, their team fight comp, easily cleans up this sideline-focused draft for IG, who just never found the leads to really get a foothold into this game, as Weibo really snuffing IG out of the series after a pretty convincing Game 1 for IG.
And now with a voracious Hadouken as well, I mean, I think IG realized the trouble that's about to happen. If you give this over, this is just enabling them with the GAs. Meiko's going to get caught light. Look at him. He's dashing forward, and Jiejie has gone. His skin, his world championship, it means nothing in this bout. In this domestic bout, it is all about Weibo taking down IG. That is Xiaohu getting picked off there. Going to go golden to delay the inevitable. And he survives as well. Times out the bailout. And that will end up being Weibo taking even more on the map.
Oh, Rookie's going to do his damnedest to get on out, but public execution comes out, connects. Rookie is down, and IG throwing out Hail Marys because they know this game is grim. Nothing connects there.
How did we get here?
Even with Smite, I mean, Mazel.
It was so close for so long, and it's just
no. It was on the scoreboard, Mazel. Was it actually close? All right? Was it actually close? Okay?
Come on, man. It is brutal.
Do not let the K2E sell you, okay? This game was not close. Don't do it.
It is Weibo finding a lot of advantage here now, as well as Jiejie getting picked off initially.
I mean, again, Jiejie, as Viego, you want to be the one using your ult in to try and find connect on kills. The last 2 fights, then Jiejie ulting out to save himself, and really no hope. Rook doing his best on the back end here to find a kill. And Gala, actually some nice traps here from Gala. I know he won this out against Tian too. As that was nice.
Oh, the kill at a Gala?
Yeah, that got
That's
Xiaohu.
Wild.
Wow. I mean, I think
that
he's just going golden
wild.
to go golden. You can chuckle though. Yeah, they were surprised about that one too. I gotta believe it was Xiaohu winning.
That's actually insane. All right, well. Now Weibo may be feeling confident to go back towards this Hadouken. Again, giving the Hadouken GAs to this composition, they will just propel this lead even further forward.
That ends up being the case.
Erha is waiting for a big hostile takeover across this choke point.
How do you win this as IG? You are.
It's so hard.
You are so far behind. You have no team fight.
Jiejie, maybe a steal. The MR is getting shredded right now against Weibo. Jiejie waiting to go over. Heartbreaker in. Waiting to get this smite fight. 50-50. That extra fight over this jungle. And it's going to go the way of Tian. And there you go. Initiation by Weibo and Xiaohu with a big shockwave. Public execution used. TheShy tries to eviscerate one, but Erha will be saved by his own bailout. And a triple kill comes through for Light. Straight from the Hadouken to the Baron. And Weibo are just running away completely with this series. And are looking to put a devastating mark on IG's first round robin.
I mean, we got to start talking about Weibo too with Erha again, as like this is a team that since Erha has come in, they're looking to move 3-1 in the series score. And I mean, they dropped to Team WE, but they've beaten a Cold NIP, beat Jiejie 2-1 in a scout off day, but a good performance from Weibo. Now, taking down IG, who really just crushed their last couple of series against WE and Jiejie themselves, and what was an eternal banger in that game 3. But man, like Weibo looks like, I mean, like based on their win against Jiejie and the win here, like actually looks better than IG of late, with Erha in the lineup and in the standings, despite IG being above them. And again, IG, it's just the, like, when are we gonna like actually start being critical of these drafts, right? Like, I tweeted the meme out that was like, oh, TheShy picks Nidalee, it's cool, and Flandre picks it and it's bad. And I feel like this is one of those where we pick Nidalee and it's bad. But it's TheShy and IG, so it's like, oh, haha, you know, it's like, it's just what this team is, but also it's like, oh no, why are we putting ourselves in this position out of draft? And like, I know we're IG, but also we can't be doing this.
I think it also just feels even worse because Rookie is paying the ultimate price for it. And now he hasn't had a great game 3, right? But when he has those back-breaking performances in game 1 and 2, and now having a little bit of a stinker in game 3, it's enhanced as well by what's happening with TheShy, with the draft, with Jiejie.
It's not on him,
it's
man.
so crazy to me that now we look at it, and I think Xiaohu heard the region, heard the community talking trash, and he's sitting there at 8-0 and 10 on this Orianna here. Weibo pushing in this bot lane.
I don't think it's been mid-diff. I think it's very much been jungle diff, as it's been a toughie for Jiejie and 2 really nice games for Tian, who has, you know, found the reverse sweep here in our BLG jungle tryout here. So.
Yeah, BLG will be calling soon, no doubt.
Yeah. This series is actually
hypothetically
who starts for BLG in their upcoming series, of course, because that is the rumor, and that is the narrative.
We're having a little bit of fun with it for sure, but it is definitely,
even if we're 100% serious, it's still fun.
Yeah, it is a riding of the ship though. That extra combo with the shockwave coming in, the turret is the focus, and down goes Rookie, as they're going to try to find the rest of it here. Big handshake from Erha. Again, another double kill comes through. Light looking for more. Light looking for even more, as the Fate's Call is not even going to be there. Triple kill again for Light. There's nobody left on the table. Nobody left on the board for IG. Invictus Gaming super team has been crushed. And Weibo look to even up their scoreline. Look to go 500, go 4-4, and take this reverse sweep over IG. What a day it is for the LPL and for Weibo Gaming.
I mean, Weibo looks at that draft and just pretty much says, get that trash out of here, man. They smack IG in that game 3, and the groupings from Weibo were just played much better. A good series from Tian, I think, in the back half. For me, Tian really MVP of this series, as a bit of a stinker game for IG and Jiejie in that last one. Kind of how that draft looks if you don't get ahead early, but Weibo did a nice job of finding early kills, making sure those early objectives and groupings were threatening enough for IG, and no real significant leads came in those side lanes that could really break Weibo really in either of the last 2 games. I know that Rookie's Yone was big, but feels like these last 2 games, IG went for very solo and side lane centric comps, and we looked at Weibo just had stock standard, you know, 5v5 comps that were just so much better than IG, when IG couldn't execute and actually win the game in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, and man, it's so heartbreaking to see this kind of moment, pun intended, with a Viego pick for Jiejie, but it's a situation where Weibo just keep throwing a wrench into what the plans are for this group Ascend, right? Like they're giving wins to people, but now they're looking seriously different and better with Erha. Erha's like killer instinct as a support has been so fun to watch, and it just feels like it's revitalized this Weibo team.
I really feel like we have to look at Weibo with a different lens since Erha's in the team. Because again, Erha, he's looked good legitimately as a rookie support. I cannot emphasize how difficult that is and hard to do. Erha's making it look easy. And I mean, that's his 4th series in the LPL. He just took down one of the LPL GOATs in Meiko, right? On the other side, in a super team. He took down Jiejie, the other super team that was created last week with this squad. And the Erha Weibo looks so much better than what they looked like before. And like, again, they're 3-1 with this lineup, have beaten legitimate teams and series that have all gone the distance, which means the Erha has also been battle tested a little bit, has clutched up in a few of these game 3s. It's been a really good look for Weibo. Like, I can't see a world where Hong comes back in anytime soon.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I will also say it helps a lot when you actually have a mid laner who shows up. I called him non-existent in the last series, which I still think is held, rightfully so. But you can't be non-existent when you are Xiaohu, when you're a guy who has beaten this league top 2 mid, and being able to have that kind of important series shut down over Rookie in the final moments must feel really good for him to feel like he's getting a little bit more back in shape.
Yeah, again, I think that for Xiaohu, like, the game 2 wasn't exactly what he was looking for on that Azir, and Rookie got the best of him on the Yone, but then to have that game 3, that Orianna pick, got to answer the Rise, was big, works really well with the Nocturne, a combo that we really saw dominating split 1, right? I mean, if you think of all the series where we saw Nocturne and Orianna, 2 really high presence champions, they definitely fallen off a little bit in split 2. After just some of the changes what teams are going for now, but to bring that back out in game 3, thought really complemented the comp well. Overall, I mean, story for game 2, like Weibo's drafts just a lot more cohesive, right? And it's not like we expect IG to draft like that, but at some point, just have to be like, IG, can we switch it up? Because the game where TheShy was on the tank and playing the supportive pick and helping the team was a damn good look for IG. And these last 2 drafts, like, just looking at the comps, it's so hard to win these games in the 4v4s, the 5v5s, like these big team fights. I mean, do yourself a favor, man, and take some more tools for this for IG, because it feels like they're trying to play Hero League. Even with how damn good this team is as individuals, they can't always find the hero in this game. Again, the gold graph for me just does not tell a story of how one-sided this game was. I think the kill score really does tell a story of how one-sided this game was for Weibo. Because despite the best efforts of IG in trying to use the strength of these side laners, it was non-existent. They got blown out of the water in this game 3.
And it was a red side win as well. Impressive stuff there. They knew how they wanted to counter it. I mean, the Orianna Nocturne coming in clutch at the last little moments there. To kind of put a combination into something that's easily executable. I think that's what I really love that you highlighted is it was just all about ease of execution, right? From the beginning, from these first fights, it truly was just all about that.
Game decided here as the Tian survives the combo from Rookie.
It's so
Jiejie.
crazy, man.
Yeah, Rookie just goes down, really well placed ball by Xiaohu, and of course that first kill, no reset for Viego, ends up being a Weibo that run out. And I gotta say, for IG, we weren't thinking about this earlier on in the split, Mazel, but really feels like the weak link in the last couple of series has actually been Jiejie. Yeah.
There's been some moments. I think game 1 was definitely centered around him for sure.
Yeah, he had a big game 1.
Which was good. But yeah, some of the consistency issues definitely there. I don't think he was set up for success in this one whatsoever.
I think
if you're a Viego and you see an Elise and an Italy top, I don't know if you're that happy in the situation that you're
I 100% agree with you, Mazel. But, you know, why
he might be looking to try to sign BLG, you know?
It still was ugly, you know?
It was.
Yeah. Even thinking back to some, I know I pulled some other clips about this team, just kind of like what's going on. There was a series that they dropped pretty much because of AJ. Anyway, getting distracted. I'm getting a little bit tired at the end of the day. That was a beautiful team fight in the back half from Erha. Of course, the hostile takeover flash combo was good, and for me, that's a big story for Weibo again. 3-1 with Erha. This team looks different. Erha is playing really well as a rookie, and it's been pretty fun to watch so far here, Mazel. It's been I've been relatively impressed.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see what happens with this Weibo team. Again, they still have one more game, one more series in this first round robin. This is the end of the first round robin for IG. So maybe not ending exactly how they wanted to, but this was the absolute backbreaker in the end, the takeaway of that.
I feel like this round robin went exactly the way I expected it to go for IG, with them just being 5-4, and we still have no idea what the actual strength of IG is.
Yeah.
Like, right when we think they're bad, they're good again, and then
when they don't pick Nidalee,
they're bad again. You know, hey, Nidalee was 3-2 for them.
Getting closer and closer to that 500.
it was 3-1, you know, but yeah, I mean, jury's still out on IG. Again, we want to see consistency.
Light his Callista.
We want to see consistency. We want to see some form of identity. Like, the identity right now feels like very side lane focused, but it's really hard to win League of Legends playing that way right now.
Yeah.
And if IG can't do it, not a lot of teams across the world can do it. Not a lot of teams are picking like this, drafting like this, and it doesn't look good for LG or IG. So we'll see if they can patch this up.
Who gets MVP? Which one of the combo? It's got to be either Tian or Xiaohu.
I would give it to Erha. It's not going to go to Erha. I would legitimately give it to Erha. In that one, I thought
maybe he does.
The bailouts, the Renatas, like it was actually good enough where I would give it to Erha. He had some really big plays in that game, but it's gonna go to Xiaohu. But I would give it to Erha. This is my support.
The General of the Sword.
Yes.
The General of the Sword. Which one? I don't know. I feel like Tian does deserve a little bit of credit.
Nah, it's Xiaohu more so. This one.